way I understand myths, it's thousands of human experiences that were transmitted from generation to generation, and then it shapes into a form. I'm Saodat Ismailova. I'm a filmmaker and artist from Uzbekistan. Amanat is connected to the act of transmission, something that should be safeguarded, taken care of, that it is transmitted then to somebody else. My grandmother, to whom I was very close, she kind of made it secure that she passes down memory, experience, knowledge. And I guess later on, by making my films, I start slowly realizing that, in fact, all my works are related to this act of that what was given to me doesn't stay with me, but finds a way to be aired or to be voiced. And somehow I find itself as an act of amanat. When you look at like geology of Central Asia, I'm not speaking about the northern part, but like more southern part. We have a lot of deserts, mountains, but the forests, as an archetypical presence of a forest, it's absent. And then there is the Arslanbop as like lung, you know, that is in a very important fertile region of Central Asia. So having this natural forest that is like 700,000 hectares, and it's very specific forest of walnuts, trying to understand, you know, like how walnuts work, the behavior of the tree, especially when it is in a big masses, you know, like it really controls the other plants, you know, who grows together and what doesn't grow. It has its own beautiful rhythm. And it touches upon so many themes in the region, while in a very invisible way, you know. You don't have an immediate understanding. You need to go many times. This was for me a major question. How come it was not touched during the Stalin project of making nature serve humanity, you know, because this was a huge project in the Soviet, they touched everything, the Soviet system, rivers, everything was reorganized. The forest was not touched. And then speaking with some locals and also some scholars, there is a scholar, Rachel Harris, she shared with an information that it was not touched actually because of the water control, you know, the waters that go down from the glaciers that are upper the forest, and so the forest sits there as a filter to hold the amount of water that flows down to the rivers. And so somehow it's that, you know, so we have the forest and we have the waterfall, and it's also a part of this ecosystem of sacred mountains, sacred forests, sacred waterfall. So if there is so many myths in this forest, there was a clear understanding of the sacredcy of it, importance of it, and it's also very beautiful to see still the old forms, how the nature is venerated. And I found it so actual and needed today. How can we learn to sacralize the nature? Are we capable to sacralize the nature again in a way it was sacred for humanity before, you know?